Hey guys, what's up? This is Dylin Gomes and that's Gabriel, Insane Rider. And today we are just chilling in the Honda City Type 2 V-TEC. So, like Gabby called me this afternoon and he's like, let's just make a video about the V-TEC. We've not really, we've taken footage in the past. We've owned a couple of V-TECs like back in 2017 onwards, 18, 19. And we kept taking footage but never really made anything out of it. So here's another attempt at us driving around in the Type 2. So Gabby, what was the whole intention? Like, you came to me, you're like, bro, let's make a video about the Type 2 city and how it's been just like overly hyped here in the whole tuner scene and everything. So what are your thoughts about it
Basically, it's a nice car and a smooth car, and it's hyped because of the V-TEC and mostly into racing and all that, because of race concepts and all that.
Yeah.
They say that this motor can remove a lot of potential out of it when you mod it and all that stuff, which most of the people go to race concepts to do it and all that. And there are many other teams like this car, you can use it on the circuit and all that in Madras and Coimbatore and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos of these guys like Race Concepts and who's the other guys, like KS Motorsports also had.
I didn't think KS had. KS is mostly into Lancers. Okay. Team N1 Racing and all had a Honda City back from
Bombay. The N1 I've seen, even Game Over had this, no?
Yeah, Game Over they had in drags and Team FS had some Honda City in drags and all that.
Yeah, I've seen Team FS's cars as well, and I feel like it's such a recognizable car. I feel like instantly people see a Type 2 and they're like, oh shit, it's like a proper JDM. But then I feel like the one car that comes to my mind also, and which is very underrated, is the Baleno. The old Baleno, the 1.6, the one that you have. I've driven it 4 or 5 times. But whenever I've driven it, it's been a proper thrill. It's crazy.
Because it's better in the terms of sitting. And there is good leg room if you have. It has adjustable steering, so the leg doesn't touch the steering wheel and all that. That is the Baleno, and the Baleno has a very nice stiff suspension, whereas the Honda City has the softer suspension.
I know, bro. I remember
we all have been in the situation of the boat shaking up to 120.
It's like a boat, bro. It's like a boat. You go about 120 and then you have to touch the steering wheel and it's like wobbling
and all that.
Crazy,
and that you don't have in the Baleno, and the Baleno is such a car you can switch lanes at 180 and all that. Whereas you cannot do
which
in
you
the
do.
Honda City.
I haven't really done that.
Yeah, I have done that in my Baleno, and it's quite stable.
And I've seen that, and it's crazy. I feel like that is but then there must be some reason, right, that people are after the V-TEC. There's so much of hype about the whole V-TEC. People are paying 3 folds what I would think are reasonable market values for the car. So what is that one thing that makes a V-TEC as opposed to say a 1.3 or a 1.5?
Firstly, if you are going to ask about the Baleno and the Honda City, between them both, the Baleno is much more cheaper, and there are many people who can buy a Baleno and drive it, and as their first car or something like that if they're going for a Type 2. But Type 2 V-TECs are much more expensive in the market. The clean one goes from 1.5 to 2.5 to 3 lakh depending on how you buy it.
I've seen
how the market is going around and all that.
Yeah.
Well, as the Balenos, you get a clean Baleno is 50,000 to 1 lakh and all. The only reason people don't go for the Baleno is it's drastically expensive because of the Suzuki parts, imports and the taxation and all that. Because that is Suzuki genuine parts, it's not,
So you can't just go to an MGP and buy your old Baleno.
Yeah, you can go to MGP and buy an old Baleno part, but the only fuck up is it's expensive. If you go to buy a bumper, it is for 12,000 rupees a bumper. You go to buy a headlight, it is 10,000 rupees a headlight. So people, it's expensive on the maintenance parts such as that. That's why people go for the Honda City, which is much more easy on your pocket. So if you have to go to buy a second-hand headlight from CST Road or something like that, you'll get it in $1,000 or something.
So CST Road, the one at Kalina.
Yeah, CST Road, the one at Kalina.
Chor Bazaar.
Yeah, Chor Bazaar, what they call it, and they call it the biggest scrap market in Asia or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that is what it is, and you get a lot of aftermarket parts for the Honda City. Well, it comes as modification parts or well, it comes as maintenance parts, and there are many things, you know, are getting built and pocket friendly if you go.
And
to
also
buy.
I feel one more thing that influences this is like we've been like with Instagram and everything, everyone's very inspired by the Asian builds that they see, the JDM culture outside of India.
Yeah.
So I feel like even the Type Z as it's known in Thailand, right?
Yeah,
so
Type Z.
I've seen so many of these nice builds, and of course first you'll see the Kerala guys, you know,
Yeah, the
do the whole
the
stance
culture,
thing,
yeah.
and then you'll hear about the mods coming in and all. I feel even that is one more reason a lot of people go and end up buying the Type 2.
Yeah, that
Like
is
just
it.
to be part of that bigger
Just to
global
be
community.
a part of the culture and all that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a nice car to go for, but then again, it's a bit overpriced, I feel. Like most of the VTECs are overpriced and all that, and the younger generation don't know about the Baleno and all that stuff, which can do the same thing in a better way, and you can drive it
100%.
to the full potential in the better way, and you know, you can get it for a decent rate and all that. If you ask me about the Baleno and the Honda City, I find the Baleno much more powerful as compared to initial power as it goes. When the V-TEC takes in time, and then the V-TEC, you know, you can't drive it at higher gear on slopes or climbing a bridge or something like that. You have to minus a gear.
Yeah, you'll have to, and
well,
rev it
at
up.
Baleno,
It's a very rev friendly
yeah,
engine,
it's a
no
very
doubt.
rev-friendly engine.
But then that also means that I don't know, I feel like you need to put in more effort to, you know, actually drive up some situations, whereas you'll do it more effortlessly in the Baleno. And one more thing, like since you brought up the point about the parts being more expensive in the Baleno, one thing I've noticed is, bro, the quality of those are crazy.
Yeah.
Like the Maruti Suzuki's today, like my Swift, you lean on the bumper and it's broken.
And
It'll come off the hinge.
And someone will, you know, lean on your fender. And
But I see you
in
sitting on your bumper and having chai every day, bro, and it's absolutely fine. Your
nothing
headlights
happens to
are
it.
fine. You keep like your feet on your headlamps and all. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So I feel like you might spend like 5 times more than how much you would spend for like a newly manufactured MGB part, but also you're getting that quality. And I've not really heard about your car having any like,
major issues or anything such as that. I'm having it like since 7 years now.
Yeah.
So I've never had any major problem or anything such as. And then there is another catch to it that you can buy the parts on CST road as well. You just, you know, need to source a proper scrap guy who can give you the parts and all that. And you know, you can go and get your parts done or whatsoever it is, or get in touch with me if you want any parts or anything as such. So we can help someone, you know. Like we love the G series, the Zen, the STMs, the Baleno.
Yeah,
the mad cars, but
sucker for all these Maruti cars. Yeah,
Suzuki cars, they are dying. And people are doing just VTEC.
You know
VTEC
my favorite, bro, the Kizashi.
Yeah, Suzuki Kizashi. But then again, that car came so less that there is no part in the second-hand market as well.
I know. That's
So
like a 9 out of 10 of those are like lemons, bro. Like if you get a good one, it's going to last you a lifetime.
Or they are all
just going to be
they're all squeezed.
They are
Till the last drop.
That
is about it. Even the Grand Vitara, the older one,
bro, that
one
car
of those
is a
crazy,
crazy
cars and all that.
What a look.
But then mostly people don't know about those cars and all that. They don't know what those cars can do and stuff
and
like
they're
that.
bulletproof, bro.
Yeah,
they were built bulletproof. Like they were built during the time of the Pajeros. I feel like the Pajero deserves a whole different episode. We talk about it.
Hopefully to get a Pajero.
Hopefully
we buy, one of us buys the Pajero or someone in the group picks up a Pajero.
Yeah, I feel like the cars of that era and even the Suzuki cars of that era were built for a different purpose. Like now Suzuki is all about budgets and, you know, getting the most number of sales and everything.
Yeah,
but
mostly
back
like
then
now
it was,
it's become key people just want to buy the vehicle, so they are just selling any shit. Like if they're selling anything in product,
for them it's about numbers. It's absolutely about numbers and
nothing about
like
quality or what.
They've compromised on quality so much.
It's only about quantity right now. There's nothing in quality. Like even if you take a new Suzuki, any of those cars, like in a few years the paint is getting fucked, you know, fading and all that. The plastic quality is fucked and all that. So back in the day there was, you know, this good cars and all that. Even if you see the Zen or any Maruti 800 or the Alto for the matter of fact, those cars was quality. Even though, you know, it was cheaper cars, but they had good qualities in them to drive around and all that. Like if you go for a Honda City still now is having a good market value and everything, like the newer one.
That's one thing about the Hondas. That they have managed to.
They have managed to, you know,
Yeah. Like the market value of a VTEC, even like any other Honda City, I feel
like
like
the VTEC or the Accords for the matter of fact. You know, the Accords, the Bulldog version and all is poorly down, and the Civic also is down because they are expensive. Like they are not economically friendly.
white elephants though. White elephants. I mean, if you have the money to spend on them and you can keep them like top notch, then you can like own a
That
Civic.
also is like, you know, 20% out of those 100 cars which are there running on pure petrol, most of them are into CNG and all that.
Exactly. 8 out of 10 of those cars are like
on
all on CNG and everything.
You know, struggling and going in the front.
But also I feel like, Gabby, now coming back to the whole
VTEC point.
The whole VTEC point.
So today our conversation was about Type 2s, and we wanted to make a video on Type 2 because no one has no one on YouTube or anything has said about the VTEC or what is difference in the VTEC or what does it makes a VTEC about it. They just know that हाँ भाई वो RPM मारती है and VTEC kicks in. Yeah, VTEC kicks in after 5,000 RPM, but the Honda City VTEC is only one of those cars in India which came around, which, you know, they go out above 7,000 RPM and all that, up to 7,800 RPM and all that in stock. But then the other Japanese cars like the Honda Accord, which came the 2.3 VTEC and the, you know, B20 engine and all, they have a proper VTEC kick in, which you know, I have driven those cars and all that, and when the VTEC kicks in, it actually pushes you in the seat. Like most of the people say Honda City, it's a myth of the VTEC kicking in. Yeah, and also the whole meme culture online where people are like the VTEC kicked in but it's a slow car and all. But I feel like, you know, there are some cars, it's a damn fast car. Like the capacity, like the S2000 for example. Yeah. So coming back to our conversation, you know, the potholes in Mumbai, happened to drop the phone on the floor. So yeah, like I was talking about the S2000. It's a 2000cc car, and I've seen a couple of those videos. It's running against like V8s and all of these cars, because the way these were engineered and the VTEC kicking in, and that is just crazy. And of course, like you've always the tuning potential.
The tuning potential these cars offered were like, it's like a blank canvas. You take this car and then you can do whatever you want. You have stage tunes and you have like
stage. Coming back to stage, I don't believe in all the stage and all. I'm against all stages. So there are many of these wannabe tuner guys, like tuner guys, no wannabe kids who are coming in the market. They only want to, you know, talk about stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Well, they don't know. Back in the day, the tuner was, you know.
I feel like that term has come from the European car market.
Yeah, it's come from wherever, but I find it like the virus, bro. Like every kid nowadays, bro, I want to do a stage 2 tune, I want to do a stage 3 tune. Well, they don't know fuck whatsoever is there in the engine or what it has to be.
Yeah, because now it's become so like everyone's talking about my car is a stage 2 tune, it's done this, it's done that.
Only
but like you ask them a little bit more about that,
they don't know anything.
They don't know what's a stage 1 versus a stage 2. But honestly, bro, let's keep that again for another video, because I feel like Yaz is going to rant about it so much. Because I feel the same way. But yeah, so coming back to the VTECs, you know, Gabby, the one thing I really want to understand, I'm sure the people do as well, is what's the difference between the 1.5 Honda City and the 1.5 VTEC. So basically there are three variants. So the 1.3
from 2000 to 2003 in India.
Okay.
So there was a 1.3 model, and a 1.5 model, and there was a 1.5 VTEC. So in the 1.5 VTEC, there are many other cosmetic changes. What was done is they have a hole in the headrest, they have the silver center panel and the consoles and all that. Then they have a spoiler behind. They have the chrome garnish on the dicky, on the boot.
Instantly recognizable. I feel like the one more thing is the mag,
the period correct wheels to it.
Mag like wheels. The properly
alloy wheels.
Those were crazy.
And you know, they had this retro design and all that on the VTEC.
But
like
the
1.3 and 1.5, they came with the similar cars and everything. Only the scene is the 1.5 came with electronic mirrors and the 1.3 came with the dandi wala mirrors to adjust it and all that.
The manual ones, where you have
to stick, where you have to stick, where you have to adjust it.
Got it.
Whereas the 1.5 and the 1.5 VTEC came with electronic adjustable mirrors and all that stuff, which is there in this video. Like.
Okay.
So that is one thing about it. And when about the motor, the cylinder of the 1.5 and the 1.5 VTEC is the same. It's the same 1.5 cc, and both the cars give the similar average. Like I've got an average of 15 and all that. And the 1.3 gives me around 18 in the city itself. So my car, Clinton's car, Clinton has a nice car with 15-inch, the fatter wheels and all that with a 205 profile. But then again, it still gives a good average. So these cars are very good in economy wise and all that.
Depends. You drive them like calmly, and you'll get like crazy mileage.
Crazy.
This is surprising because I have a 1.2 Swift. This is a 2013 Swift that I have, and I get like 8 to 10. Max I've got like 12 to 14 back. That was like that was on a highway. Like if I'm driving at like constantly at 70, 80, then I can expect like a 12 to 14. But like even in the black VTEC that we had, I've got 15. Bro.
Yeah.
We put like
15.
500 rupees petrol and we've gone roaming here and there, and it's been with us for like good 2-3 days with that same amount of fuel. Crazy. Like we've done a couple of trips to Bandra and back. So yeah. I mean, I feel like that's one thing. But like you were mentioning, you said that the 1.5 and the 1.5 VTEC have the same cylinders and everything.
Yeah,
so what's the
cylinder.
difference?
So the bottom of the engine is the same. The head is different. So the head, they have a solenoid switch. So the VTEC comes with a solenoid switch. So the VTEC is variable while timing and lift electronic control. So basically what happens is, as you give the axis after 5000 RPM, the ECM gives the sensor, like it gives the current to the solenoid switch. The solenoid switch, what it does, the solenoid switch pumps in the oil with more pressure, which opens the loops of the camshaft. So the camshaft is open much more, and then it becomes like a high lift camshaft to the engine. And then that is what is that VTEC kick in or whatsoever they say. But actually if you go to see, the VTEC kicks in after 5000 RPM, and it gives a small grunt, a small push to the car, and which not actually tucking into the seats, but a kind of a push which you drive it and you'll come to know. Most of the people don't know about it. Some people say it's a myth and all that, coming back to that scene. So when you drive it, it has a small VTEC kicking in, and that is what is the difference between the normal 1.5 and the 1.5 VTEC. What do you call it?
Like if I have to say, it almost feels like a tiny turbo that kicks in.
Tiny, not even a turbo.
Like
turbo is
of course, not like apples to apples comparison, but if I was to say that you drive a VTEC and if I drive like a 1.5, like I can redline even the 1.5 to like 7,800.
Yeah, you can, not 7,800 to 7,000 RPM.
Okay.
But the scene is, as the the RPM switches after 5,000 RPM, the car acts to be a different car. Like it's revving like, that high, and the motor is doing that good, and the motor becomes like a race motor.
Yeah, like I have felt that power. I felt that power, like not like pushing you in your seat, but you feel a gentle
difference.
Like you genuinely feel like that sudden burst of power which takes it all the way up to the deadline.
We are here to tell you all guys that VTEC is not a myth. Own a proper VTEC. Don't go for the CNG used VTEC and VTECs in the market and all that. Buy a proper VTEC from a genuine guy, which is take someone who knows about the VTEC, go to buy a proper VTEC, and then kick in. Then you'll come to know if the VTEC is kicking in or no after you driving it. When you redline, there are some like I was selling a VTEC and that guy came to buy a VTEC, so he was like, his dad was driving and he's like, bro, redline it. There is nothing about redline in this. There is nothing about redline. Any motor with redline. There is, after you sitting on the driver's seat and you driving the car, there is a thing that after 5000 RPM, if you feel something in the power, like even if you pull this motor, after 5000 RPM, you feel like, the car is just gone a little bit much more faster than what it actually has to go. That's the VTEC. People don't know. People have just made that hype ki, bhai, main VTEC kick in karega, then you'll go directly in the seat, or the seat will break and it'll go behind. That is not going to happen in any of the VTECs, bro. And this is not a Toyota Supra or something to put you in the seat.
That's what you're looking for.
That's what you're looking for. That's what the hypeness is made in the market. Yeah. Like most of the younger generation, they don't know about it. They just know like Honda City VTEC. So
yeah, but also like I feel like it's good that you're putting out this content out there, and hopefully we have like, I definitely like from 2013 when I got into the car scene, and at like a very personal level, just me and you and like our gang, roaming around the streets like here, Kalina, Bandra and everything. It was like a small scene, but like if I go back today, I feel like where there were 3 or 4 tuned cars in Kalina, like, or even like basic modded cars, I feel like now there are like so many more people who are getting into it, even if they are like beginners. The culture is becoming bigger, and that's something I've come to appreciate, that, you know, over the years it has grown, even though like the whole car scene, I mean, the whole regulations and everything is getting tighter, but our community is growing bigger. So that's
so
amazing.
Basically the video is just to make everyone aware about the VTEC, not to put you all down or something like that. You don't buy a VTEC, you know, go for a VTEC, but there are much more other cars in the option, like you have the Baleno, you have the Lancer. Now Lancer, the scene is that you don't get parts and all that, but there are many people who can convert a Lancer to you. Like there is Team FS who will convert a Lancer to you. Then there is KS Motorsports who will convert a Lancer to you. That is
So basically when you're saying convert a Lancer, you're saying getting a stock Lancer into an Evo.
Yeah, Evo. Converting into a Evo 4, 5 or 6, depending on what the opposite guy has, an engine or whatsoever required to convert it.
But again, I feel like that comes at like a great cost.
Yeah, it comes at a great cost.
And again, it's not for,
I wouldn't say it's not for a beginner. Yeah, it's not for a beginner.
Like coming to like the V-TEC is an amazing beginner car. It's a great car to get into the tuning culture. And again, coming back that the Baleno is also a good option. So like for example,
only drawback of the Baleno is higher maintenance and the poor mileage. So my Baleno gives me around 7 bro, and I can't expect anything much more than that. And off lately I taken it for drags and all that, so I think it was giving me around 4 or something, because I had put a short pipe and all that. I will show you all the sound of it in the next episode or whatsoever it is. But that is there, like the Baleno is very poor in the mileage wise.
That's something I've come to realize. And but again, like say I'm going to the market to buy a used car, you know, I'm like I have one car at home, I'm looking for like another car to, like, you know, just get into the tuning scene. One is I pick myself like a Honda City Type 2.
You can pick any Type 2. See, all the Type 2s are very nice. The 1.3 also is very nice, and the 1.5 also is very nice. The 1.3 goes up to 180 or something, doing that top speed. It takes a bit time, but it reaches there. The 1.5 and the VTEC goes up to 200, 210, but then again the 1.5 VTEC
really
is faster.
pushing.
1.5 VTEC is faster, and the 1.5 is a bit slower, just a bit slower in terms of acceleration and going fast to that speed. That's it. In the end, the 1.5 also is going to reach the same speed. The VTEC also is going to reach the same speed. It's only about going there quicker. So that is about, you know, you can go for those cars. You can go for Zen, Esteem. So Zen and Esteem are good pocket-friendly cars and good project cars. Like most of them are converting their Zen into E-Zen nowadays. So what is an E-Zen? E-Zen is a Zen with an Esteem engine, and, you know, B-Zen is Zen with a Baleno engine. But then again, if you are thinking of a pocket-friendly project car, you can go for a Zen with an Esteem engine, which is directly plug and play. You don't have to do any modification.
So the same gearbox and everything.
It's just a plug and play system, bro. You don't have to do anything to the wiring, or you don't have to do anything to the ECM. There will be another episode on that as well, because I'm converting my Zen into Esteem, like the Esteem engine and all that. So we will be, you know, showing about what is the technicalities of what has to be done and what has to not be done. Like most of the people think, if you're putting an Esteem motor into a Zen, you have to change your ECM and you have to change the wiring, but there's nothing, bro. If you are getting yourself an MPFI Zen, you can just plonk in a MPFI Esteem engine, which is plug and play. The mounting is the same, the fitting is the same. You just have to room it out and you have to put it and just drive it, because you can run an Esteem with the Zen ECM and all that, Zen ECM and Zen wiring. And the car actually, like my friend Fahad has a car, Team FS. He had given me to drive his E-Zen. So the car is doing like 105, 110 in the second gear itself. And so basically the Esteem also does the same thing, but due to the ECM, it's not having any, you know, difference or anything as that. So you can drive it with the Zen ECM as well.
Yeah.
So these are what cars you can buy and go for as first timer cars and all that, and plus you can go for a Honda City VTEC also if you have the budget. Now in short, if you are going to spend 2.5 lakh for a VTEC, you can go for a Zen with an Esteem engine. It won't be that comfortable, the AC won't be that good, but then in the end you'll have a nice fast project car, or you will learn, and in the process of the project car you learn a lot about the cars also. What are the, you know, what breaks in the car, what you have to, you know, look into, what you don't have to look into. That is a good lesson for you to learn when you go in the community. when you're just entering the community. And
Yeah, I feel like it also gives you the street cred when you know your car in and out. You're not just one guy who had the bucks, so he went and bought a car and like, this is my tune car.
Mostly
like,
these guys who are buying these Skodas and all that these days, they don't know what is there in the motor or what is there. They just ask, my car is a stage 2 car, do you want to buy it? They go and pick the car and they don't know shit about what they're running. Or if tomorrow they have a fault or something will go wrong, they don't know what to look into or what to not look into.
Yeah, it's also like, also I feel like those cars are so like dependent on electronics
again,
and all of those things. Like that's something I've not really like understood till date. So
mostly if any sensors or something go wrong, you'll have to take it to the
it's like
company.
one sensor and you got to go check up the whole thing, like get the diagnostics out and everything. But again, I feel like we can just keep going on and on. I think this was a really great first session, and hope to catch you guys for the next one. And meanwhile, make sure to like and subscribe, like the YouTubers say.
I don't want to say this, but जिसको subscribe करने का देखने का है content like this, or about cars, can subscribe. Or if you don't subscribe, don't subscribe. It's on you, bro.
Yeah, but I would say subscribe. Okay. Alright, guys. Thanks. Cheers, and we'll catch you guys with the next one. Yeah.